Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? Are you looking forward to the topic that we'll be discussing today? But first, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Lagosa Justine from BEd 1A and I am KCAS student.
First, let us define what are good manners. A person with good manners is considerate of the feelings and sentiments of others around them. He or she never discriminates between individuals and treats everyone equally. Modesty, humility, compassion, and courtesy are fundamental characteristics of a well-behaved individual. As a result, a well-behaved person never feels proud or arrogant, and they constantly consider the sentiments of others. Practicing and maintaining to good manners throughout the day will undoubtedly bring sunshine and add qualities to life.
We will discuss the do's and don'ts in public places. Since it is important that we may understand the proper manners that we may have in public places. If you treat others with respect, you are more likely to be respected in return. If you demonstrate good manners wherever you go, you are more likely to inspire people to do the same for you. Have you remembered when you were still a child? When our parents go to public spaces with us and taught us good manners to follow for us to avoid getting lost or causing trouble. Our parents taught us to give up our seats to older people and to pregnant women, not to make too much noise and respect other people's spaces. But it's sad to say that there are people that doesn't have those qualities. That's why I am here to make you correct all the bad habits and behaviors that you should avoid and stop doing. Whether it is to treat a grocery store, school, work, or even in public transport. It is important that we have an understanding of what it takes to be polite in public. These are few things that I'd like to point it out from my experience. Greet someone with a hello, wave, or even a gesture that you are comfortable in doing. When you see someone you know in public, it is important to say hello, a wave, nod, or simply smile. You can embrace or shake their hand if they are close to you, or you are comfortable doing. But if they are far away from you, you can simply smile and just wave.
If you bump into someone, should always say, "Excuse me" or "I'm sorry."
If you accidentally bump into someone, want to clear the way, want to see something and there's someone in front of you or anything, it's necessary to say, "Excuse me" and "I'm sorry." It shows respect to others and helps you avoid misunderstandings and conflicts.
If someone you know speaks to you, look them in the eye.
When communicating with a close friend, family member, or even a loved one, it is best to look them in the eyes. It shows that you are interested in talking to them and that you are listening into them. Allow them to feel important and that even a small conversation matters.
Always say thank you.
It is nice when someone holds the door for you. Remember to always say thank you. Feels great when someone tells you to have a nice day. A simple thank you can make a person's day so much better.
Covering one's mouth when sneezing or coughing.
Covering one's mouth when sneezing or coughing is a great habit to develop, especially now that we have a COVID-19 pandemic. When we sneeze or cough, We should always cover our mouth and nose because people nowadays are very conscious about it. We should wear our face mask and be mindful of our surroundings at all times.
Parents' reactions to their children should be properly regulated.
If parents are angry with a kid because of his/her behavior in public spaces, they should avoid yelling or dramatic behavior. If the problem is out of hand, a quiet area away from others is the ideal location to handle it.
Don't stare or point at strangers. Be discreet.
Staring and pointing into strangers are considered disrespectful, especially when done when looking angry or in a poor mood. We should also be aware and be conscious that some other people doesn't like it when someone stares at them, especially in a creepy way. As a result, we must respect others and avoid looking someone in the eyes and pointing our fingers at them, as they may be considered rude to others.
Answering phone calls, texting, or simply continuously gazing at the screen in a social scenario is never appropriate.
Mobile phones should be always put away at the dining table, and calls should be accepted only in extraordinary situations away from the table. Always apologize for utilizing a cell phone in an emergency or crisis. They should be turned off at cinemas, theaters, art galleries, or any public place where stillness is preferred.
Being clean.
Make sure you wear a clean clothes on a clean body. Take baths or shower as often as you need them. Get the dirt out from your nails too. No one doesn't want to smell you being stinky. Wear messy clothes because proper hygiene is a must.
Use humor carefully.
Aim not to cause any offense and know the boundaries of people language for different occasions and situations. Avoid jargon and vocabulary that may be difficult for others to understand. Explain complex ideas or instructions carefully. Do not appear arrogant. Use appropriate language and be respectful of gender, race, religion, political viewpoints, and other potentially controversial or difficult subjects. Do not make derogatory or potentially inflammatory comments.
Apologize for your mistakes.
If you say or do something that may be considered rude or embarrassing, then apologize. But don't overdo your apologies.
Take time to make some small talk.
Mention the weather, about the other person's family, or talk about something that is in the news. Make an effort to engage in light conversation and show some interest. But don't overdo it. Remain friendly and positive and pick up the verbal and non-verbal signals from the other person. We should avoid being PDA because excessive physical contact by couples who don't need to display it to others makes other individuals feel very uncomfortable.
When getting into a car, move to the side and let elderly people and pregnant women on public transportation go ahead of you.
Respect the driver and other passengers. To avoid disturbing other passengers, try not to be too loud and avoid talking. When traveling in a car, avoid wearing short skirts or shirts since they expose your legs sometimes. Normalize saying thank you to the driver and say excuse me to the other passengers. Before you get off, pay your fare. Listening to music too loudly in the bus is impolite since others may be wanting to sleep or rest. Everyone must make an effort to respect the environment. Pay attention not to speak or laugh too loudly. You don't want to wake up the people who live next door, especially at night. When using a pool door, remember to hold the door open first to allow the other person to enter or exit. On the streets, be courteous to other pedestrians. Always observe the regulations of the road, such as walking in pedestrian lines. Spitting in public is filthy. It appears that you don't care about other people on the street. That is why we should avoid doing so, especially now that we are in the midst of pandemic.
Smoking in public.
Other people are more sensitive and uncomfortable. People should not consider public spaces to be their personal smoking areas.
Making people feel uneasy when they're drunk.
Drunk people should refrain from acting crazy in front of a lot of people.
Walking along the street while looking at their smartphones.
It can be highly dangerous to them and may endanger others.
Trash being thrown everywhere.
It looks very messy when other people throw away their trash on the street, if they can hold it for just a bit. Avoid wearing revealing clothing in public spaces and avoid staring at others who are wearing revealing clothing. Avoid being dressed too casually for the situation. Arrive early and avoid being late at all times. Pay careful attention to the pastor's sermon. You are not in your room, so don't sleep. Unless absolutely necessary, do not use your phone inside the church. Everyone must be treated with respect. Inside the church, do not eat or drink. Maintain a pleasant attitude and greet everyone. Wearing clean, fresh clothes and taking off your shoes inside Asian homes is a sign of respect to your host. Trying to accept any refreshments offered. Refusing them is considered impolite. To display their hospitality, Filipinos will often use their finest crockery and cutlery when they have a visitor. It would be polite to comment for it, to acknowledge their effort. It is expected that the elderly and those of a higher status are treated with respect. Filipinos will often put a lot of thought into their gifts and will give sentimental, thoughtful, and or practical gifts. Be courteous. Extend a helping hand to the host if necessary. Avoid using your cell phone excessively. Don't take food to your home unless the hostess offers you some. Have fun at the gathering. Be upbeat and cheerful. Engage in conversation with others. Wear appropriate clothing, especially if the event has a theme. Never leave a dirty toilet or wet floor. Wait patiently in line. Close the door. Don't forget to flush the toilet. Hands should always be washed. Put on beautiful clothing at all times. Do not leave your phone, keys, or purse on the table. Allow your guests to place the order first. If you're the host, make arrangements for payment ahead of time. Make inquiries politely at the information desk. If you need a reservation, wait 2 to 3 days in advance and pay reservation fees if required.
Now that we are done discussing some of the do's and don'ts in public places, we are going to tackle about the importance of good manners in public places. Good manners are vital in both a person's personal and professional life. Manners aid in keeping everything together and in order. Without proper manners, classrooms would sound more like a fish market. Dining tables would be full of unpleasant situations. Salesmen would fail at their sales, and everything would go wrong. Your manners are the first thing a person would consider while judging you, because it is what sets your first impression. Even in the interviews, Before evaluating your communication skills and technical knowledge, your manners and etiquettes are taken into consideration. It might be difficult for us to maintain our manners and social behaviors at times, especially when we are around our loved ones. When we're with them, we tend to become more casual, which is okay up to a point. But it's also crucial to remember not to cross our line. To thrive in this competitive and rapidly changing world where everything is fleeting, it is critical to actually impress others. Good manners go a long way toward improving our lives. They aid in social acceptance, love relationships, and professional success. A well-mannered individual is well-liked by everyone and is more likely to succeed in both personal and professional life.